Welcome to the BCM Podcast. I know you guys are there. I'm Brad Swail. I'm your host today. I'm the B in the BCM. I'm
Brad Swail.
Charles wishes I was there with him in Houston, but I would never step foot in that hellhole. Michael Searle, top right. He's the M in BCM. Hello, fellas. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's the 188th birthday of the city of Houston.
187th, I believe, but who the fuck cares?
I actually deleted that Instagram post because it is 180.
188's too many, if you ask me. So, Charles, are you doing okay? When I was talking to you before, you saw a bug in your apartment, and
yeah, I'm just not. It's not a day. I saw this bug, and I hate bugs. I hate bugs. Anyway,
all bugs, or just like, is there like a cockroach? Like, are you a lady?
All bugs. I just don't like bugs.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I'm fine with caterpillars.
They don't belong in our homes. That's for sure. I think everyone can agree on that. They don't belong here in our houses. But you live in Houston, which is basically Bug City. Everyone that lives there is a bug. Everyone that's inside of a house has a bug in the house because they're a bug. They're from Houston.
Well, I would prefer to find a snake or an alligator or something else.
Okay, cool. Well, sure. Michael?
My dog got stung by a scorpion the other morning.
Oh,
she was like under the chair I was sitting in and clawing at something. I was like, oh shit, is that a scorpion? And yes, it was, because it stung her right on the paw.
Not good. My son got stung by a bee for the first time this week, and luckily he's not allergic. So, what was that movie with Macaulay Culkin?
My Girl.
My Girl. No My Girl scenario here. I still have a son. Still have two. All right, guys.
Wake up, Thomas J. Wake up, Thomas J. Where's his glasses? It's a great
movie. The lines from My Girl, but if I bring up any like cultural reference from the past 15 years, you have no fucking clue.
That's a great movie.
And Xena Warrior Princess was a great show, but you don't know who Lucy Lawless is. Now, let's talk about the news. Now, Michael, Charles, you brought this up. Shawn Thierry, who I believe you know in theory, has decided to move to the Republican Party. Is that right?
That's right. I don't know her very well. We've interacted before.
No, I'm correct that you know her in theory.
Yes, I know her in theory. She has decided today to announce that she has left the Democratic Party and is now a Republican. She said it's been a long time coming. Watching the transition of the party has left her, as with many Democrats, without a home, and she thinks that she feels that she's more aligned with the Republican Party. And so
Democrats not having a home, is that why they support the homeless industrial complex so much?
Must be. That's it.
Those Democrats, they're really supporting themselves.
For those who don't know, Shawn Thierry, State Representative Shawn Thierry, is the one who was the Democrat who's very outspoken against or in favor of the ban on gender modification of youth. And this was during last legislative session. She got a lot of pushback from her party over it, a lot. And so I think that was kind of one of the final straws.
No, not only did she get a lot of pushback, but she got a primary challenger and lost her primary to someone running to the left of her.
Yeah. So she's, it says one of X. I don't know that the thread actually goes on. It's just one long thing. So whatever. That's a stylistic choice that she made, but that's fine. So the Democratic Party has veered so far left, so deep into the progressive abyss that it now champions policies that I cannot in good conscience support. Policies like promoting sex changes for children during a vulnerable stage of their lives and dismantling Title IX protections for women in sports. I almost read that as Title 11. This is not the party I grew up with. I witnessed firsthand how the so-called liberal left now stifles thoughtful debate, silencing dissent with an iron fist, demanding blind allegiance to ideology where one must comply or be cast out. RFK. This is not the Democratic Party I once supported and represented. And it goes on talking about Maya Angelou, but who knows who she is, right? So we're going to discuss this a little bit further because I'm curious, right? I think it's, good for her, right? She's getting a lot of play for this on social media because it's kind of a big deal. I think when a prominent Democrat switches sides, I think it was a big deal when the Dallas mayor did it. But is it, it's probably a big deal when a Republican goes Democrat, right? When was the last time that happened? Do y'all know? I don't know, but
When a Republican actually went Democrat, or when a Republican adopted all Democrat positions, such as
I mean, there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats, Michael. I know where you're going with that one. I'm talking about switched parties.
Oh, when a Republican switched parties. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you can effectively say the Adam Kinzingers and the, what's her name, Liz Cheney's have done so, but I mean, they haven't formally switched parties. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when the last time a prominent Republican has gone to the Democrats.
Adam Kinzinger is a patriot. Please be respectful. So, she's right. They are demanding blind allegiance to ideology, and one must comply or be cast out. I don't know if this is her letter saying I've been cast out, or if this is her letter saying I'm leaving before you cast me out. I'm breaking up with you, switching the tables. Right? I don't know which one it is, but it does speak to what's happening with RFK, right?
I don't know.
Come on, Charles.
And Tulsi Gabbard.
I mean, Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard's been where she's been for like 4 years, though, and I don't think she endorsed Biden. I don't remember. Did she endorse Biden after? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
She endorsed Biden over Bernie
in the primary 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Is it? Go on.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised she endorsed him over Bernie, but it is interesting that she endorsed him because I thought that's where she was 4 years ago because she hadn't really been involved in the Democratic Party since then. So I thought she had already kind of left it. Well,
did she leave it or the Democrat Party leave her? Isn't that the age-old question we all experience now? And what are Republicans nowadays anyway? Are they 1990s Bill Clinton Democrats or are they Republicans?
I think there are a couple dynamics going on here. I think there's a natural shift in what the parties believe, for sure. We're watching it happen. Like the Republicans are now the anti-war party. They're the free speech party. Like they're the party of the working class, or trying to be. And there's a shift, which is leaving some people like, well, where do I go? But there's also these sorts of things where the progressives are just going so far left that people like Shawn Thierry, I think Robert F. Kennedy a little bit, but I would use an example of maybe like our friend Adam Lowy, who are like, that's way too far left. He doesn't really change his fundamental beliefs. They've just moved so far left that he doesn't believe what that party believes anymore. So
but does he vote for that party?
I think probably some of the times, probably not other times. People with like Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy, and then on the other side of that, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, there are just fundamental beliefs within the party that on the Kinzinger side, they're just not getting on board with, which is the party's changed. This is what it believes now. You got to get on board or you're not part of the party, right?
Well, I mean, is Adam Kinzinger's beliefs all that different from like a mainstream Republican, aside from like, let's support Ukraine no matter what?
That's not a mainstream Republican position.
I said aside from that, like that's where he differs the most. Like what else does he believe that the mainstream Republican doesn't believe? Like he's a fucking neocon. He's a neocon in the making. He wants to be the next Mitch McConnell. I get it.
That's right? The point. Neocons are Democrats now.
Okay, but like when he's up there, like is there anything else that he said? Like like Trump has come out just recently, and we'll play this clip in a little bit, saying that the federal government is either going to pay for it or they're going to mandate the insurance companies pay for IVF.
Yep.
Right? Did Adam Kinzinger have a problem with that? Did Adam Kinzinger have a problem with closing the border? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he would align with the kind of common thread of Republican solution to closing the border. I think he's kind of more aligned with Democrats today on it. I mean, what do you think Adam Kinzinger's big issue is with the Republican Party that he's out there endorsing Joe Biden if you don't think it's everything? Like, what do you think it's the issue?
I mean, I think it's Ukraine.
You think it's the one issue?
I mean, it seems like the only issue that he ever talks about.
But he's been vocal against Republicans before the Ukraine thing broke out.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably because he knew the Ukraine thing was about to break out. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not married to any of this. I'm just asking you guys' opinion. Because he does. Is he like, where do people differ? Where are these people differing? Why are these Republicans not getting on board with Trump? And it just seems that it's not. If Trump was all about Ukraine and like wanted to destroy Ukraine by, I don't know, funding its war against Russia, I feel like these people would be fine with supporting Trump and all of his other policies. right?
No, I don't think I don't think Adam Kinzinger has ever supported Trump. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Because Trump has never been pro-war.
Speaking out against the CIA, speaking out against the FBI,
All of those, I think all of those go under the umbrella of
challenging the election, talking about whether John F. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. All these things that are now mainstream in the Republican Party that are anti-establishment, that are pointing out the failures of the establishment Republicans like George Bush and the neocons. The Adam Kinzingers of the world hate that stuff has sunlight. And it's more of a fundamental worldview. I would say their positions on trade are probably different. I doubt he supports tariffs on products from China. And we can have an intellectual debate about whether that's a good idea or not. But I say idea. But first time in my life. But he probably doesn't agree with those sort of policies, those trade policies. He probably would have supported NAFTA. He probably would have supported the TPP. And he's an old school neocon globalist Republican. And the party has moved on from that to big tent. Welcome to Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We're anti-war. We want the UFO people. We want the Bitcoin people. I mean, my friend and, more traditional Republican Ellen Troxclair is posting on her Instagram welcoming Robert F. Kennedy, a liberal and environmentalist, to the party, to the movement. So Kinzinger needs to get on board.
Well, he's not going to. He's not going to.
Then he's a Democrat.
Sure, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not saying that I believe one way or the other. I'm just trying to take y'all's pulse a little bit, right? Trying to figure it out as we go along. But since we talked last time with Alex Stringer when he was at the DNC, and RFK Jr. was, I think by the time we talked to him, RFK had announced his support for Trump. Well, now Tulsi Gabbard has come out and done it as well. And that's kind of a big deal, right? They both have a ton of independent support, right?
Sorry. Now that Dane said that,
welcome to the show.
No, I've been participating, but now that Dane said that, I just thought of something. To the question about the last switch, it wasn't a full switch, but it was when Manchin left the Democratic Party like 2 years ago to go to be an independent. He didn't go Republican, but he left the Democratic Party.
Are you answering my question? When was the last time a Republican switched to Democrat?
No.
Oh, that was your question, right? I forgot. I thought it was
that's where the confusion comes from.
I'm going to but keeps talking, Brad.
Well, I was going to say that the Tulsi Gabbard coming out and endorsing Donald Trump, coconut milk mommy, she is, I think that's kind of a big deal. She has why are you shaking your head, Charles? You know it is. You know it's true. You know that's what she is. That's what we all call her. What?
I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly.
You don't think it's a big deal that Tulsi Gabbard came out and endorsed Donald Trump?
No, because listen, do I think it's a big deal for independents who's looking to Tulsi? Like, I don't. I think it's a big deal. Anyway.
Joe Rogan.
What?
Joe Rogan, Michael Searle and Joe Rogan are about on par, but those two goons.
I mean, listen, I think it's a big deal anytime that someone who, especially in such a high-profile election, who is not of the same party does buck their party in general. But I think specifically Tulsi Gabbard, I look at it as Adam Kinzinger endorsing Biden or Kamala. I don't think that's a big deal either. Like, it's kind of expected at that point because these people are not in line with their party anymore and have been very vocal about not being in line with their party.
But does Adam Kinzinger or Liz Cheney, do they have a whole lot of like Republican and independent support that they could bring over to, say, a Kamala Ball's ticket?
Yeah, there are plenty of Republicans who think like them.
I don't
Democrats who think like Tulsi and Joe Manchin and
I think there's more independents that are. I think this is bigger for independents. I don't think there's going to be a ton of Democrats that switch over. Michael, anytime you want to chime in, please pick a side. Finish this debate.
I will. I think Charles is somewhat right.
You could have also said that Brad is somewhat right, but whatever.
You're both right. It'll have marginal impact, and it's happening on the other side. There are neocon loyalists who love Liz Cheney, but they already voted for Biden in 2020. They're not like, I'm going to vote RFK, or I'm going to vote Cornel West, or I'm going to vote Jill Stein, but now I'm voting Kamala because Kinzinger endorsed Kamala. There are people that are independent who were voting Jill Stein, Cornel West, RFK, who are now, with Tulsi Gabbard's influence and RFK's influence, going to vote Trump. So
I know these people personally.
While it's a small percentage, it's going to have impact in those swing states, and he needs to pick up a few votes here and there. So I think it'll have impact. Is it game changing? Is it Barack Obama coming out and saying, actually, let's vote Trump? No, but it's going to make marginal impact.
I mean, yeah, RFK doesn't have the same sway that Obama does.
Correct.
But RFK has a significant campaign, independent campaign, and him switching over is actually going to make a huge impact.
Yep. Not huge. Just it's going to make an impact.
What?
Well, if you look at the breakdown, about 60-40 or 65-35 of RFK voters are going to go Trump and 35 are going to go Kamala. So yeah, it's an impact, and it's on the margins, and this election is going to be determined on the margins. So that's a big deal for Trump's campaign.
So my question to you guys, especially Michael, but I want to hear your opinion too, Charles, but I think Michael might be on board with the idea from the get-go. I don't think that Trump's going to win this. I don't think they're going to let it happen. I don't think that this is if you believe, right, that there's like shadowy, conspiracy organizations that are pulling strings in the background, and there's a lot of fucking power at play here, a lot of money. Is it World War III or is it not World War III, right? These people want it, if that's what you believe is we're going towards, that's what these people want. That's what they're orchestrating towards, correct? When RFK and Tulsi Gabbard and, Trump is sitting down with Theo Vaughn talking about, cocaine and drugs and all sorts of stuff, it seems like Trump is playing a smarter campaign than he typically has. He's not quite as out there and loud. People are upset about his stance on abortion, which is fine, whatever. But I just don't think they're going to let him win. I think they're going to lock him up, or there's going to be, as Charles likes to say, some incompetence that's going to happen.
So first, I'm going to respond to your earlier question. Of the 10 or 20 that I just clicked on of people who switched parties, every single one of them was Democrat to Republican. I haven't found one that switched the other way.
Interesting.
I think it's probably because Republicans are more forgiving than Democrats are when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, just look today, right? We've with Shawn Thierry, with Eric Johnson, when they both switched, Republicans embraced them with open arms. But yet, when you see the same from Democrats, unless it's specifically geared toward as an election, like with the people coming out at the DNC saying they're voting for Biden, but just a general switch, I don't think they're typically believed, and I don't think those people win Democratic primaries.
George Santos is now a Democrat.
What?
I found one, but are they?
Wait, is he really?
George Santos, the convicted criminal, the gay man that got kicked out?
Good. Now they can stop saying he's a Republican and tagging him with Republicans. He's a Democrat.
I mean, he was so much fun.
No, I don't think he switched. I think this is wrong. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know if any Republicans are switching to become Democrats.
I mean, but look at it. With Donald Trump, he was a Democrat who converted Republican, and Republicans made him president. Do you think that a Republican going Democrat could ever become the Democratic nominee for president? No.
I don't know. I have to think. Bill Clinton? What?
I mean, like modern era.
So let's go. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Republican that's like very, at the end of the day, are they really any different? I don't know. They're different when they campaign, but when they get in power, they're the same fucking thing, right?
And to Dane's question, yeah, you're right, Dane. He did not run, and now he lives in Houston.
Hell yeah. Really making my point there, Charles. Answer my question. They cannot. The question is, they cannot let him win. This is not going to. There is so much power here that's at play, and they hate him. He was. There's a bunch of attempts at we're going to calm down the rhetoric right after he got shot. That lasted about 2 days, and no one's even talking about it anymore. And I just don't. And of course, were they involved? Who knows? Probably, but I don't think you're going to let him do it.
So we had that podcast again. I'm bringing up Adam Lowy with Adam Lowy, and where I said that I thought Michelle Obama was going to be the candidate, and that I also predicted that Biden was going to drop out like 2 years ago, and Adam still owes me $100. But the point I made was, is Trump not an existential threat to them? They will do, and by that, they will do anything they can to remove him from power or not let him get power.
They being
you don't make us like name names. Come on.
No. I mean, like, I'm just talking about, like, are we talking about just kind of like the shadow letter agencies? Are we talking about the Democrats as a whole? Are we talking?
It's the confluence of the Democratic Party with big tech, the national security state, and the media that represent and control the establishment that will collude and do anything they can to keep Trump out of the White House.
Then why would they have not done everything they could to not even make him the nominee?
Well, they're going to start with the small stuff to not let it be too obvious. They'll do the lawfare. They'll call him a convicted felon. They'll shoot his ear off.
Yep.
Right. But at some point they're going to be like, all right, let's pull out all the stops. Right.
And they tried to impeach him twice. They tried to say that he was a Russian agent, and like they've gone to great lengths to try to keep him out of the White House for a second term. And they're going to greater lengths. They ran a coup on the sitting president of the United States of America and threatened him with the 25th Amendment if he did not step down from his campaign.
Okay, well, to be fair, I mean, he's
yeah, but he said he's running, and had there not been interference, he would have ran and he would have lost.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's on vacation, by the way, Joe Biden, which is one of the things that we wanted to talk about. And I still can't help but wonder why people don't ask, like, why is Joe Biden not running for president?
Well, he kind of said as much, that he's not in a position to win. I mean, and like,
but why? Like don't tell me what Joe Biden said.
Oh, you mean the real reason why he's not running?
And what does everyone know is the real reason that he's not running?
Are you asking me an actual question, or are you throwing a hypothetical?
I just explained it.
I just explained it because he's senile. Because he is incapable of doing the job.
No, I don't think that's why he's not running.
He's incapable of winning in his current state. Running a campaign
current
and
state
winning. He has dementia.
Yes,
obviously.
But the fact is that he's had that, and they've known that. That's not why he's not running. He's not running.
That is why he's not running. That's why he's not running.
No, it's not. It's because he's gotten so toxic that he can't win. If he could still win in the state that he's in, they would have ran him. That's why
it was too obvious that he has dementia.
Right, but so he can't win. That's the point. Is that
because he has dementia.
You guys are making the same point, and you're arguing.
And the point
we're not. We're making two distinct points, because the point I'm making is that
Charles is angry because there's a bug.
Even with dementia, he would still be running if they were able to keep it a secret and allow him to win.
Yes, it's not a secret anymore, right? So the reason is because it's of his dementia, of his Alzheimer's, of his seriously poor health and inability to do anything at all.
The reason is because he can't win. He's toxic.
Yes, he can't win because of those reasons. Yes, because that.
Okay. Hear me out. Give me a second. Hear me out. Nothing changed from 2020. I mean, things have changed, but 2020 to 2024, he was pretty senile then. He was tripping over his words. He wasn't coming out of his basement. Everybody was saying something was wrong. However, they were able to keep it a secret enough that he still won. This time around, it was on Front Street so much that there was no way for him to win, because people saw it themselves and they said, we cannot reelect this man as president. If they were able to keep it a secret and reelect him and run the country secretly, they would have let him run. So it's not because of his mental state. It's because we know of his mental state as well.
Yes, I agree with you that they would, I think I said it on the last show to Alex Stringer when we were talking about it. Like they're already running the show without a real president, right? It's already happening. I can't remember the point that he was making, but I agree with you. They don't care if he can do anything or not. They don't care if he's alive or dead. They just want him to, like, they take a picture of him. Let's see, he's still alive, right? And then they're doing everything behind the scenes. But the American people and all the media knows that the reason why he can no longer do it is because everyone knows that he has dementia. So why aren't people asking the question? Why isn't the media constantly asking the question, why is Joe Biden still the president?
Because why is he still a president?
Or why is the media not asking that question to say?
Because the real story, if it was told, it would hurt Kamala Harris.
And Dana Bash
is a CIA operative.
She asked her. Dana Bash, looking fine.
Dana Bash is a CIA operative?
No, she's married to one.
Oh, sure.
Which also makes her one. You can't be married to a CIA operative, a known CIA operative, and not be a CIA operative.
I don't know that he's an operative. I think he was like former chief of staff to the director of the CIA.
Yeah, so he's an operative. Michael, come on. Stop it.
So can I get back to my answering your question of whether they will let him win?
Sure. I would love it.
I think there becomes a point where they can't stop it.
Okay, what's that point? When do we get there? When do we know we're there?
Trump needs enough of a lead.
Is the tie that he has now, is that legit, or is that to mask, as many people are wont to say, mask the cheating and the stealing that's inevitable?
Well, here's one thing. I'll actually be contrarian here. Here's one thing I think people are missing in the polling. They're like, oh, Trump always under polls. I don't think people are as afraid to say they support Trump now as they were in 2016, certainly, and 2020 as well. So I think that the polling error, if there is one, is not as big as we think so. Now, the question is, are the polls PR stunts to make it appear close? I don't think so. I think it's actually close.
You think it's actually close? You think Megan Thee Stallion, all that block walking she's doing, twerking down Main Street, is working?
You heard Strenger, who was there in the belly of the beast.
I mean, that's not the same, though.
Do you not know anyone who likes Kamala Harris?
Dude.
I don't think I've met. I'm not retarded. I know that people like Kamala Harris.
No. I know, but I'm saying, like, do you not regularly come across people who like her?
I live in Austin, Texas.
Right. So why would you be? But if even Austin, Texas, like, why would you be shocked that
it's 50-50? One, that's not possible. That's statistically just not going to happen. Every single time it's 50-50, every single presidential race, it's like hairs, like margin of error, like totally absurd idea that every single time it's like they're basically tied, but just one wins by a little bit, right? That's dumb. But in this idea that she just announced, okay, there's that little initial bump. She's fucking hated by everybody. No one likes her. She's super unpopular. Her first campaign was a total dud, let's say. And now she's tied with Donald Trump.
Do you think these Zoom calls that they're having where they're raising like $1 million in a night are fake? Like, people like, what do you mean? Yes. Like,
I'm sure the Zooms are real, but the money is not. The Act Blue stuff, that's all fake.
Dane's got it. Shows that the Democrats control a very powerful propaganda media.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. And we've got people eating seed oils at every meal of the day, and their brains aren't working, and they're not thinking for themselves, and they just believe what's fed to them. And that's half of the country. Yes. The country is like pretty split down the middle. Like, regardless of the reasoning, because I agree with Michael that a lot of people just believe what they're told, but the country is
I also agree with that, Charles.
So then how are you?
But look at the trend. Look at the trend lines, though. The Republicans haven't won the popular vote. If you take the votes at their word, they haven't won the popular vote since they demolished the World Trade Centers in 2004. That was the last time the Republicans won.
War?
Wait. Well, no. After that. No, it was in 2001, but the next election was 2004, and that was the last time the Republicans won the popular vote. Since then, Obama won it in 8 by a lot. He won it by even more in 12. And then since 12, after the great financial crisis or whatever you call it, it's been trending. The trend lines have been getting closer. Biden won it by less than Hillary won it, and so on and so forth. And that's because the Republicans their party's changing and they're attracting new people. And the Democrats are not.
So when they demolished the World Trade Center, as you said, do you think they got the popular vote because it was like a signal that they're ready to like build it's new infrastructure? It's infrastructure week kind of thing. Like they're just going to build.
No, it's because it was a disaster and the country rallied together.
Yes,
it was a disaster when they tore it down.
I was just being flippant.
Let's not get into trying to play off the joke.
Yeah, we shouldn't be with 9/11 being less than 2 weeks away.
Okay, listen, Charles. I'm sorry that there was a bug in your apartment. Cheer up, Michael. You know I'm joking with you.
Yeah, I know.
As we know, after some sort of national emergency and even natural disasters, things like that, people rally around the person who's in charge. George Bush, for those subsequent years, was very well liked, because he was going to get those bastards that bombed us.
Kanye West didn't like him.
Well, that was Katrina. And yeah. But he was liked then, and you also have to remember that was also at the onset of his presidency, so people didn't grow to hate him till at that point. So yeah, I mean, since then Republicans have been pretty unliked. I mean, globally speaking.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I think it's getting closer and closer to 50-50 exactly. I think.
Do you guys not know anyone who doesn't know who they're voting for yet? Because I know plenty of people who have no idea.
I think now that I know a lot of people now that RFK has endorsed Trump don't know what to do.
They're split between Kamala and Trump, right?
They genuinely don't know what to do. They don't want to vote for Kamala, but they really, Orange Man Bad is so deep in their mind.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know a lot of people like that who are just I don't know who to vote for. Yeah.
Vice President Harris, you were.
Wait a second. Before I play this, are we going to get a knock on YouTube?
For playing CNN?
Yeah.
Probably.
A very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years right after
Can we just pause
the
this
debate. You insist.
Well, not there. It's fine.
Oh, you want to look at Dana Bash?
That President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regret?
Look at her.
No, I just I don't know who the hell set this setup up. It's horrible. I don't understand it. She's tiny. He looks like he's running for president. The cups all over the place. Where are they? At a cafe?
No, they're in the break room of an office building.
Ill-fitting suit. His collar's popping out. You would think that for the first interview they would just actually set this up right, advance somebody. But this thing it's dark. Anyway,
is she hunched? Is her chair not hiked up enough? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
She's small. He's big.
But she's smaller than Dana Bash too. Dana Bash is 5'2".
Why do you know that?
It's random.
No, it's not random that you know how tall Dana Bash is.
That is random, actually.
No, there's it's not a random occurrence. I just happened to scroll by it. Why you know that?
Because I was told.
In what? Okay, whatever. There's more to this story.
That's about what you told the American people.
No, not at all.
She is 5'2".
Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room.
Now, I don't know who said that hoes ain't loyal, but this hoe be loyal. Am I right, Charles?
That's disrespectful.
Disrespectful to who? To Kamala Harris?
I have no comment.
I mean, she's out there still defending him, saying that, yeah, he's great. He's what I defend. The context of the question is, do you regret defending his capability of doing a second term? And she's like, what do you mean? He's great. Whatever. It's he's a great dude. He's loyal. I'm loyal. Look at me. I'm lying to you, to your face, and to all the American people. I'm lying to them. This is how loyal I am. That's the question. And no one's following it up with, if he's not capable of doing a second term, is he capable of finishing his first?
They have not confirmed that he is not capable of running, which
Harris doesn't regret. This is CNN's Chiron. Harris doesn't regret defending Biden's fitness for second term.
Right.
She's not defending him. She's defending herself.
I know, but the question is the logical follow up is he capable? You know what? This is I know the answer. I know the answer.
Here's the thing. There's a reason they've never said, he has not said, they have not said that he is not capable of running. Because if they open that door, it leads to the question that you are alluding to, which is if he's not capable of running, then how is he capable of serving? That is why they've never technically opened that door, and they just say that he was not going to win, and that is why he's not running. The question's fair to be asked, for sure, but don't be mad at her for not answering the question when they've never opened that door, because there's a reason.
Michael, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you want to go halvesies with me on like an exterminator for Charles's apartment?
Sure.
I don't know if I can handle another bug in Charles's apartment.
We're having an
Charles, they don't need to say it. That can of worms is already open. We already know he can't run because he has dementia, and therefore the next logical question is, how can he run the country? Plus, he's just like on vacation all the time. He's not. We don't need their permission to ask that question.
Exactly, which is why you can ask the question. But what journalist is going to ask how he can serve when there was never a preceding factor that he is unable to run? Why would that be the automatic question?
Because journalists don't need the permission from the politicians to ask a question that's obvious. They're part of the democratic machine. That's why they don't ask the question, not because they haven't been given an opening. They don't ask it because they are invested in Kamala Harris becoming the president. And therefore, they don't ask the question because the answer is, I lied to you. I'm continuing to lie to you. I knifed my president in the back so that I could become president. That's the real answer.
The thing is, I don't know. I disagree because the thing is, if you open the door, there are so many repercussions that come from opening the door, which is why they've never done it. No one has ever publicly, other than speculators from the outside, have said that he was incapable of running or incapable of serving. No one has, because if they do, then suddenly you can have moves from the Republicans to 25th Amendment him. You can have calls for him to resign. All these other things that would then have credibility because they announce that he is not able to run. And
disagree. We had 2 weeks of everybody, even in the mainstream media, talking about him being unfit to run. And as soon as he stepped down, nobody was talking about it anymore because they achieved their objective, which was to get him to bow out so that they could replace him with somebody that has a better chance to win. They talked about it on CNN, on MSNBC.
About
Joe Scarborough,
yes.
Project Mockingbird figure number 1, said he needs to drop out because he can't run again. I love you, but it's time for you to drop out. Did you see that debate performance? The reason we're not talking about it is because they're all vested in the same outcome.
Uh-oh. And why is Anderson Cooper Mockingbird number 1?
Huh?
Which is getting Kamala Harris. What?
Go ahead.
Which is getting Kamala Harris elected. That is the purpose of the media at this point. So they won't do anything other than give her a softball interview, which she didn't say anything of substance in that whole interview. They're not going to do anything to jeopardize that.
Did you guys expect her to say anything of substance?
Hey, let's take just a brief pause, if we could. If you guys don't mind, can we take a brief pause? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's just go on the beach. Just a quick beach. What's happening with me, Charles?
Are you listening to that music, or is the person videoing?
Oh.
Wait, what is...
What happened?
What are we watching?
That was Joe Biden on the beach.
That's not Joe Biden. That's right.
That is Joe Biden on the beach.
No. That was.
Are you? What happened? There are people that are just listening to this and not watching. What happened?
There were migrants running across the beach.
What? And Joe Biden just sat there and did nothing. Do you know why? Because he doesn't know that he's president.
But really, that's not real, right? Like I didn't just miss that on the news.
No, that's what happened.
No, wait, seriously?
He sat there and watched migrants run across the beach.
I can't tell if you guys are kidding or not. I have no idea.
I don't think that was Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
That was definitely Joe Biden sitting on the beach. And someone edited in the migrants. Calm down, Charles.
Oh, well, I was confused. Clearly, I haven't been seeing all the news lately, so.
Watching all his new voters run.
He's on like a 2-week vacation, just like sitting there doing nothing, hanging out. Here's the real video. All right. Like if you look at the bottom, if you see, that's me right there. Right there.
Yeah, it looks like
that is your head.
I know. You're welcome.
In Rehoboth.
I'm over here doing like on the ground reporting, and you two are just sitting at home, fucking doing
Beach, Delaware. You got kind of a back shot of the president.
Hell yeah,
there enjoying the sun last couple of days of summer. I want to hear both of you get your response.
Was that guy to the right his Secret Service agent?
Is it rude to talk about backshotting the president, Charles?
On this, I don't really care if he's on vacation or not, to be completely honest.
Why?
Because one, you cannot sit here and talk at length about him being incapable of being president and then complain about him being on vacation.
That's not the point.
Be on vacation than running. Two, I went and looked up the vacations of presidents. Bush spent 1,020 days on vacation. H.W. Bush spent 543 days on vacation. Trump spent 381. Biden was at like 280 or something. Like, I don't care.
Every day is a vacation for Biden, all right? No, number one. Number two, I don't care if he's on vacation or what. Like, that's not, I'm not saying like he can't run the country. So I'm saying, why is nobody asking the question? Who's running the fucking country? If he's not capable of doing a second term, why is he finishing the first?
Well, are we talking about that again? Are we talking about vacation?
No, because you're saying like I shouldn't care. And that's not the point. I'm just saying it's funny to see him on vacation, just hanging out at the beach like an old man with dementia.
Fair. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't care. I'm saying I don't care. And I just don't think, like, I would rather him be on vacation than him being there doing whatever it is he's been doing the past 4 years.
Fucking doing something. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, Brad. I just don't think that it doesn't matter. No, he's not going to get removed from office.
No, I know. I think more. I'm using my voice to like maybe encourage other people to ask that question more often.
I think we're all on edge today. Let's all just take 1 second and take a deep breath. Just one.
I think people tried to.
Yeah, we weren't done.
I held my breath, so I don't need.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, we tried to talk about it. People tried to talk about it, but we're like dogs chasing cars. New shiny object.
To talk about it.
A dog chasing a car. Okay.
No, when that all happened, Steve Bannon was like, that should be the only thing we talk about. And
Isn't he in jail?
That. Yeah, it was before he went to jail.
Dane, I'm stealing that word, functionaries. That's actually a great word, and I need to work that into my vocabulary.
Yeah.
We are your functionaries, Charles. You would not be able to do this without us.
Apparently not. I'm getting yelled at and beat up today. It's just like
you keep yelling because you're getting angry.
It's like the 1800s all over you.
What a fucking like 1800s. Ugh. Charles Blain. Okay. Anything else y'all want to talk about on that? No? Well, we got a new policy alert. Are you guys ready? Are you excited about the new policy alert?
Yep.
I want to know what you guys think about this new policy alert from all angles. All angles. I know a lot of people are pissed off about it, but
I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow.
To put it very nicely, what's the not nice way to put that, I wonder?
I don't know.
New parents to.
He wants people fucking. That's what he wants to say. That's the not nice way to put it, right?
Well, no, because
because we want more babies, to put it very nicely.
Yeah, the not nice way to put it is we want people fucking.
Well, I don't think people aren't having babies because they're not having sex. I think they aren't having babies because they're having trouble, and which is the point of his policy rollout.
And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents.
Wait, Charles, how come you're not having babies?
To deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people.
What are you laughing about?
Nobody has ever said they are pro-family before. Oh, Trump.
So we got two things here. We got, well, three things. Why is Charles not having babies? One, two, because he named a couple of reasons why people don't have babies, and I'm just wondering where he falls under. One, two, he's talking about paying IVF. Either the government pays for it or mandating the insurance pays for it. What do y'all think about that? It seems maybe a slippery slope. I don't know. Not the worst thing, not the worst policy in the world. Probably the last one I would end, maybe. And tax write-offs for major new baby expenses. So Charles, Michael just got a new couch. Is that a new baby expense? And does he get to write it off?
Tax write-offs, I'm fine with. Don't you also get, I mean, as a dependent, do you write them off? So wouldn't that include or automatically offset some of that stuff? I mean, whatever. I'm fine with the tax write-off. I think paying for IVF is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's ridiculous. I don't take moral issue with IVF. I have no moral. I know a lot of pro-lifers do have a moral issue with IVF. I don't. And it's the only way some people can have children, and that's perfectly acceptable. But the fact is, IVF ranges, and there's some that go lower and higher, from $10,000 to $30,000 per cycle. I Googled it in 2022. 92,000 babies were born through IVF. I don't know what it is today. I'm sure it's higher. So 92,000 times the low end, which is 10,000, is what? $92 million, $920 million. That's the low end.
Wait, hold on, stop. 92,000 times 10,000.
92,000 times 10,000.
I don't think it's 920 million, is it? That doesn't sound right. That sounds way too high.
92,000. I don't know. Somebody do the math. I think it's 900. And
Michael's over there like meditating or something like that. I don't know what the hell's happening.
I think it's 900.
I'm listening. I'm trying to find a quote. Well,
yeah, I think it's 920 million. Anyway,
that's a lot.
Michael, what's 92,000 times 10,000?
I'm doing it right now. Keep talking.
So
we're really good at math here.
It's a big number.
It wasn't my strong suit. So that's on the low end. That's on the low end, and that's
920 million. Dang, that's a lot.
Right. So that's on the low end because we're talking about 10,000, and that's one cycle. And so for people who need multiple cycles, for people who it costs more, for people who, thank you, Dane, for the fact that it's going to go up when government's paying for it. It's unfathomable. I mean, that's incredibly expensive. Then you're inserting government in the lives, because I would say that if you're making us pay for IVF, government should do some sort of, screening to make sure that this person is like mentally and emotionally sound enough to have a child. Two, like, it's just the whole thought. It's just ridiculous. Like, I just don't think, listen, offsetting it's one thing, but to cover the cost of it. And then on the other flip side, he's talking about mandating insurances cover it. That's Obamacare-esque. All of our insurance premiums are going to go up because everybody else is paying for it too. It just doesn't make sense. Then lastly, you have all these kids sitting in foster care and adoption orphanages. Are we not subsidized? Why don't we tell people to go adopt them and pay for that if that's the case? Like, it's just, I know he's just throwing it out there because he needs something to get suburban women, and which is also why he said that he no longer supports or is not voting in favor of keeping the 6-week ban in Florida, and says he wants more weeks for abortion. So I know that's why he's changing his position on it. I don't know if that means he's going to hold steady to that when he's elected, but it's not good policy. I mean, we cannot afford that. We can't
argue with that. He's
Right.
making a cynical political play here, which I think there are better ways to achieve what he's trying to achieve in terms of Charles's critique of the policy. 100%. Like if you say the government's going to pay for it, it's just going to cost more, and then we're going to pay more for it. We've seen that with healthcare. We've seen that with student or college tuition. We've seen that with a bunch of things. But the one caveat I will say, I was looking through my old book notes and was like, I should post quotes to Twitter instead of just always shit posting. And one of the ones I found was Frederick Bastiat, The Law. He says, think less of punishing the faults than of encouraging the virtues you want. So tax break for people who have kids and families, love it. I love the concept of giving people a tax break if they build a family. I love it. But should we pay for IVF for all the reasons Charles pointed out? Probably not.
And I do think we should be encouraged. Like I do not typically like government inserting itself in people's lives, but given the fact that this country, we are not having children, and the only reason our population is growing is because of immigrants coming here, we should be looking at encouraging people to have kids, and I do think government can play a role in that. But I don't think this is the role, and I think we really need to be figuring out why the hell people can't have kids. Like, why are we in a place where IVF and other things are so necessary today than in years past? Is it the stuff we're eating? Is it the chemicals? Like, there's something there as to why it is so.
Astrazine.
Seed oils.
The astrazine.
I mean, truly,
the frog's gay. What do you think it's doing to you?
You know, no kids, shooting blanks, I guess.
Well, or Miss Blain, do we have some news for you?
Yeah, but the point is, we do need to be identifying what the problem is, and obviously that's a very difficult thing.
We should get some testosterone checks. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's. I don't know. I mean, we don't know if it's all the men's issue. We don't know if it's women's issue. I mean,
it's definitely the women for sure. The men are fine.
The soy boys aren't fine.
I'm just joshing around with you guys. You guys can take it. That's fine.
Sperm counts are down. Sperm counts are down too. It's
I know
all of the toxins that are in our body.
I'm just joshing around, all right? Not every joke is going to land exactly like huge laughs, but y'all don't have to take them seriously.
I didn't take it seriously. Sometimes I'm just scared to laugh.
Michael here, like giving me the dirtiest look possible. How dare you say that?
And Dane's also making a great point. Women, I mean, are not. Some women are uninterested in having children in the way that they used to because of
big mistake. I mean, it's not whatever. I get it. So have children, fine. I get it, but I think it's bad advice. People need to be giving the advice: have children young and let them grow with your career. Don't have children late and interrupt your career. Now, of course, people do it all different ways, and it works, whatever. But just as general advice, I think that's better.
Well, and I also think that people used to be getting married at like 18 and having like 5 kids by 28. And maybe there's something to be said about like why at mid-30s. Like, there's a lot to look into here. And I just think that's a more worthwhile endeavor than trying to say that government's going to pay for IVF when I don't even know what the percentages of times that IVF fails. But I know when I've heard of people going through IVF, they go through rounds after rounds after rounds after rounds of trying to make it work very often.
They're making a lot of shots.
Here's one of the reasons why our fertility rates aren't down, and are down. And this is one of the preferred snack foods of the woman running to be president of the United States.
Oh my! I saw a tweet about this morning.
Doritos. Share screen. Here you go.
You're not serious.
No, I am.
What is actually in Doritos? Let's find out. Let's look at the ingredients. First ingredient, corn, which is certainly drenched in glyphosate, a pesticide that is implicated in cancer in humans. Second ingredient, vegetable oil, sunflower oil and canola oil. Those are both seed oils, which we know are extremely harmful for humans and probably the single greatest drivers of obesity and metabolic dysfunction in humans today. Monosodium glutamate, better known as MSG, something that has been associated with increased appetite and in animal models clearly causes harm to male reproduction.
You get the point.
I mean, that was the point. You cut it off. That's the whole point of this.
And the reason I bring that up is because I was running around this analogy in my mind the other day. Diet is almost the perfect analogy for this election. Doritos are Kamala Harris. You want to eat them, they taste good, maybe, but they're terrible for you in the long run. And Trump is like the vegetables. You hate them. You don't want to eat them. It doesn't taste good, but it's better for your long-term health. How about that?
I mean, I think it's funny because it's true, but I think in reality, I don't know that the last time Trump has had a vegetable.
I remember back when he was in the White House, he would like get McDonald's and Wendy's and Pizza Hut delivered, and he'd have it all spread out over on the table and be like all proud. So
you remember
I don't think he eats well.
You remember when Obama had all those hot dogs spread out over the table?
$65,000 worth. He flew them in from Chicago.
It's a wild hot dog party.
9, 11, and 13. They'll be waiting in the hot tub.
It's crazy.
I do
I found this handkerchief and it's pizza related. What's up with that?
I think it's yours.
I think so. Dane, 65% chance of success for IVF. So we're going to be paying for a lot of IVF. And I don't know. I think we need to look at foods. We need to look at foods. We need to look at exercise. We need to look at the stuff.
We care, Dane. We care. You say you love Trump. In case we care. We absolutely.
Dane, I think that everybody here. I mean, I guess we don't have to say who we're voting for, but I think everybody here is.
Don't be a pussy, Charles.
I'm critical because I care. It's kind of like when you yell at your kids, right? Like you care about them, so you yell at them. You don't yell at other people's kids.
I yell at other people's kids exclusively.
Well, I'm not surprised at all.
Exclusively.
Yeah. No,
There's actually one of my son's friends that I like have to say, like, you know, hey, you got to say hi when you come in. You got to say thank you. You got to say bye when you leave. Like, you can't just ignore. Like, stop it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, and he gets mad at me because I'm not like dressed up when he comes over, and I'm not like offering him drinks. And so I don't know. Is he right? Am I right? I don't know.
He's right, of course.
Naturally. Dane said IVF is the first thing I've really disagreed with Trump about. I think but I think that's an important point. And what Trump has been doing with RFK and Tulsi, if we go back to that, and I think he's going to do it with more people, is like, we don't have to agree on everything to support each other. Like, let's agree on some things, the fundamental things. And then we can debate the IVFs and the abortions and all the other topics that, well, some people might say abortion is fundamental, so maybe that's not a good example. But all the other issues, we can debate them, but we can still support each other in pursuing the things that need to be changed, such as endless war, censorship, and toxins and bad food that we're eating.
Those are Michael's priorities, if you didn't know.
Well, those are what RFK articulated as the top priorities for them combined. But
how is seed oil bad? I eat seed oil.
How is seed oil bad? It's just bad for you. It causes inflammation. Like, it makes people get sunburned.
That's not where I was going. What I was saying is the guy was talking about sunflower seed oil. Okay, I don't eat sunflower seeds, but people eat sunflower seeds all the time.
And that's bad for them. People eat Doritos all the time. People do
cashews and pistachios.
Eating sunflower seeds and sunflower oil, which has been extracted through a chemical process, is very different.
There's a difference.
It's like saying eating corn and corn syrup are the same thing.
Okay, so so then what about sunflower seed oil that comes from just crushed up sunflower seeds?
What if I put corn syrup on my corn?
Dane, I personally use extra virgin olive oil
avocado.
Avocado oil is good. Has a high.
Just use butter, you freaks. God.
Butter's great too.
Butter is great. Butter, ghee. Get some fucking
tallow is good.
Yeah, some beef tallow. I use that as for skincare. It's awesome.
Do you?
Oh my god, all the time. Lathered.
Oh, okay.
That's why his hair is growing so well up here.
I know it is
where it is growing though. Hey Charles, we didn't get to talk about this, but California Democrats are wanting to help undocumented immigrants buy houses, and they're making undocumented immigrants eligible for up to $150,000 in state-supported home loans. And as a disgusting YIMBY, I thought you might like that. But there's something else, because you brought up, we're not going to be able to get into like a real discussion about that, so I'm just going to skip it. You brought up that REI is having a sale this weekend for Labor Day. And while REI is fucking lame sauce, I wanted to show you this. DOD Outdoors. Quality Japanese camping gear since 1977.
Japanese camping gear?
All of it is so fucking cool.
They don't even look.
Look at that thing right there. That right there in the middle. The Chimaki Village. How cool would that be?
I don't have $800 to spend on a whatever that is.
I mean,
Village.
Yeah, quit being a fucking quit it with your
DOD camping gear. Okay, just go to REI and get a 50% off sale.
Do outdoors. Stop having start having an abundance mindset. All right, I don't have $800. Right? Don't talk that way. Talk about I'm gonna get $800. Right? You live in Houston. $800 is it's floating around there. You might have to sell some drugs or something, which is fine because it's Houston.
Well, when I get it, I'm not spending on this thing. Do they have anything other than tents? That's all they have is tents.
Yes, I mean you see chairs, you see all sorts of stuff. What is wrong with you? Are you blind?
I don't see clothes. I don't see
there's a sleeping pad. Oh, they don't have clothes. Oh gosh darn it. I'm sorry for bringing up a really cool website. Sorry, they don't have clothes. Don't go there, people. They don't have clothes. Sorry, go to REI instead. Don't get something cool and original and like stylish and high quality. Go to REI because they have clothes.
Can I get Doritos there?
Japanese Doritos. All right, that was a fun one. Sorry that Charles was so fucking down on my camping gear. I thought he might like it. I mean, you can
look at Dane's last message. Well done, Dane.
Thank you, Dane. All right, fellas, thank you so much. As always, you can follow us on Twitter. Our handles are in our bios there. It's also going to be down in the description below. You can subscribe. You can share with friends. Not only can you share with friends, you should share with friends. You should do it now. Just text your buddy. Hey, this is a really good fucking podcast, and you're going to love it. You may not love all the people on there, but you're going to love one guy in particular. I'm not going to say who it is, but we all know. And of course, Miss Blain, you're always our favorite. We love you to pieces. Please come on the show. Michael and I would love to talk to you. I mean, if Charles is too embarrassed to do it, just do it anyway. Reach out.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Dane, it's always fun. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend.
Bye.
Adios.
See you guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Got to get better.